Well, Ari, I've got a question for you that's live, and your answer is going to I'm going to apply it today, right? So,
okay, real time, huh?
Real time. Now, I'm in the water consultation business. I do home demos. Now, occasionally, it doesn't happen often, but I have a great meeting, and I know it's a great meeting because when I leave, I say to myself, "Did I apply pressure? No. Did I listen? Yes." And I think, great. And I leave the conversation, and then I do the follow-up of some sort. I don't usually do that, but if I feel inclined, and then this is the question. So they replied back. In this case, this gentleman replied back by text, and he said, "Yes, Sam, we want to go ahead." I thought, good, that's great. And I replied, and I said, "No problem. All I need is the picture of those two, the paperwork I left you, and just send it to my mobile, and I'll get that organized for you." Tumbleweeds. Now, this only happens once before, and I blew it as well. So I don't want to, I guess the question is, what do I say to this guy? Do I ring him? Do I send him a text back to say, "Hey man, where's your paperwork? You wanted to go ahead. You contacted me," you know? Does that make sense?
It sure makes sense, Sam.
Yeah.
And what you have to understand is that text is not a place to make the sale.
Yep.
You made the assumption that through the text he wanted to order, and you replied back, continue your process on text, right?
Well, let me put some context why I send it. I don't normally like to send texts at all, but I find that I call people. Well, this guy, I called him, and I knew he wasn't going to answer because he didn't answer the first time, right? So my then default is I send a text.
No, that's okay. That's okay that you texted him and you got the response, but why didn't you call him when he texted you?
Well, historically, I knew he wouldn't answer.
But he texted you. He's on his phone.
Yeah,
so what I'm suggesting to you is make them talk to you, Sam.
Right.
Because this is what happens. They throw some quick answer to you on text. It disappears in the ether somewhere, and you got a black hole and a wall, and you got nowhere to go. See, what I would have done, if the text would have come through, I would have said, "I just got your text." Add the voice so they can feel that Sam feeling again. And I wanted to ask you, if you wouldn't mind, could you please just send over X, Y, and Z, and we can go from there. Maybe it's a voicemail. Leave the voicemail too, but don't reply back on text. Don't do what the customer wants. I know it sounds so contrarian, but look what happens when you do. If you use channels like that, you run the risk of being shut down. I prefer if you call them, let the message, he doesn't call you back, then fine. Let him do the work to find you again.
Okay. The only small challenge with that is that some people, they only got these 10-second things or whatever on their messages. But let's say...
Does he have 10 seconds on his?
Sorry?
Does he have 10 seconds on his?
I can't remember, but your point's valid. I will certainly do that. Well, let me put this scenario to you, because I did that with my last guy, right? It's only happened twice.
Go ahead.
So the other guy, I did that. I actually rang him, and he said to me on the phone, he said, "Oh, yeah, Sam, we had a chat and we want to go ahead." And I said, "Great. All you need to do is send me the paperwork." Tumbleweeds again. So with him, I ended up, after about 3-4 days, I sent him an apology text. Or
hold on a minute. How much do you don't have to tell me exactly, but how much do you make per sale on average? One deal?
One deal's about $500.
Okay. What if you spent $35, Sam, and you said, "Look," say the guy's John. "John, I'm going to send you a courier. It's going to arrive at your place tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. He'll pick up the paperwork and send it back to me. Please have it ready."
Right. Okay.
See, what you're doing is you're assuming he's excited to do paperwork, fill out a form, and send it back to you. That's the last thing they want to do. They want their solution, not the paperwork done. You're assuming that they want to. You're not assuming it. It's just that no one wants to fill paperwork out. Have the courier pick up the paperwork at a certain time. You got to put structure, Sam, around that process for onboarding, and you're leaving that hole right there up to them to do it.
Yep.
That makes no sense.
Well, I guess the other option is I can say, "I'll come around and pick up the paperwork."
Either way, You got to get them to understand what your process is. Your process is you fill out paperwork, we pick up. No unloading, no emailing, no texting, no, we will pick it up from you, which means there's a commitment he's making to having it ready for the pickup.
Okay. I like
Add that one step in, Sam. Just you can test the courier one just for fun for one person. I'm going to have a courier sent to arrive at your place at 8 o'clock. Will that work for you? Will it be ready by then?
Yeah. Okay.
See what happens.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
You got
don't reply to the text. Don't fall into the trap.
No, don't fall into the trap where you get stuck into a black hole and there's no way out.
Yeah. Okay.
Stick with the human touch and let's see how they respond.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
Good
again.
to see you. Always.